Today we're going to be making a scroll made up of birds, bugs and blooms. So stick around if you want to see what I've made. Welcome back to a kooky corner of YouTube. And today I am showing you a scroll that I am making. I've made lots of things before. I've made little pots. I have made jacket covers, all kinds of things out of slow stitching, but I've never actually made a scroll in itself. So I thought now's the time. So as with everything at the moment, it's inspired by birds. I am obsessed with birds. I'm painting birds. I've got another bird project that I'll show you next week that I'm doing as well. My head is full of birds and also spring. So I've kind of gone with a birdie spring theme. This is not completed, by the way. This is just as far as I've got. So if we scroll him out a bit, that's probably as far as I've got to some kind of completed degree. This piece of fabric that I am sewing onto is 28 inches long. I didn't actually measure it, but when I did come to measure it, when I finally decided to think about how much I needed as a backing, because I'm going to back this as well, I measured it and it was 28 inches. So perfect. Serendipitously, the piece of fabric that I cut was just the right width as well for the backing to fit this. So it was kind of like it was meant to be. So yes, it's made in a similar way to most of the pieces of slow stitching that I have done. So I've gone with a theme of birds, bugs and buds, or blooms. I don't know. One of those works well. Probably blooms, actually. Birds, blooms and bugs. So we've got flowers interspersed with birds. And like he's got a little sequin collar. We've got some bugs coming along there. There's I think I'm going to fit 3 birds on here. I've actually put him on the end there. He's waiting to be decorated up. And I will probably put a couple more bugs on here as well. And some more blooms, obviously. So yeah, I've probably got to about there. So I've got about, I don't know how long that's actually. Let's measure it, shall we? Let's see how much I've got left to do. If I go from there, I've probably got about 10 inches left. So I've done about 18 inches of it so far, which is not bad. And I can add more in if I want to. I can just go back in and add some more stitches. You can add as many stitches as you want into it, whatever kind of stitches. I've used some little bits of fabric that I got from bazaar packs at some point in time. It is fraying, but that's the nature of this particular stuff that I'm using as a backing, which I will show you in a second. And all I do is just trim those off until I actually get a backing onto it. They're not worrying me at all. Just keep getting rid of any fray bits, because that's the nature of fabric, isn't it? It does fray, but it's not worrying me. I'm just going to keep going, and I've so enjoyed having a sit and stitch of all of these. Look at this one with flowers. Got a little flower necklace and a flower in his feathers or her feathers. And then we've got the little beetles. There's still little scraps of fabric on here. And some little bits of my shiny fabric in there as well. There'll probably be a few more added in before I finish. We've got sequins, we've got beads. I'm just throwing everything at it because I'm enjoying it. Now it's based on the birds, blooms and bugs, but it's also based on some things that I've made previously. And I sit looking at these things because they surround my stitching desk. So the first thing I was looking at was this that I actually made when I was away on a cruise at the end of last year. So we're kind of influenced by all the things I've put in here. similar colours, similar kinds of little flowers and things with French knots, etc. That's going to go into a frame at some point or another. But that's kind of hanging around my desk at the minute. So I was influenced by that. Obviously influenced by the beautiful K Facet fabric scraps that I've got hanging around from my quilt. So they go in there. And I was also looking at these vase covers that I made probably a couple of years ago now. I have a pattern for these in my Ko-fi shop and Etsy shop, if anybody's interested. It's £3. You get a video tutorial with it as well. But yeah, really loved making these. I've just noticed that this one's not finished stitched down yet. I didn't finish that one, stitching it on, but I shall now put my mind to it to finish those on. So yes, there is a pattern for those available. It's probably one of the only, I've got about 4 different patterns for different things that have got their own video tutorial. Obviously you pay for the pattern and then the video tutorial goes along with. I'm just going to put that back on there. That kind of store them together. And what you can do is you can put actual things, flowers in there, but you'd sit this over, I don't know, I'm getting my paint jar. You kind of just sit it over the top and then you can put flowers in it and it's kind of decorative. You could do it in like little bottles or whatever, but it works quite nicely. Anyway, that's by the by. Back to scrolling. So just showing you the things that had influenced me. So these sit on my desk, obviously, so I get to look at these a lot. So they influenced me. But just the birds in general. birds are living in my brain. So yeah. So as I say, I will be stitching a little more on this. I'll show you what I'm doing with it. But for the basics of this, I went to this. This is natural linen burlap ribbon. And I got this from Amazon, and I think if it's still there, I will check it out and leave a link in the description box below. You can use absolutely anything. You don't have to use this. I just use this because I've got a roll of it. In fact, I've got 2 rolls of it, and I find it really handy. Get rid of the bits here, little frayed edges, but it's kind of like a long strip of linen. Perfect for like layering up on and stitching into. But you could equally do that with any fabrics. You could have linen strips, you could have calico, you could do a different fabric base. It really is completely up to you what you want to use. But I'll link that below if anybody's interested in grabbing some, because you get a fair bit of it. It doesn't actually say on here. Does it say? No, it's a 70, oh it does, 70 millimeters, that's the width of it, by 10 meters. So you get 10 meters of it, which I find is quite handy, instead of having lots and lots of bits of fabric that I have to cut into and make it evenly the same. I struggle so much with that. I've actually got a roll that's already the length I want it to be, or sorry, the width I want it to be, and it can be any length up to 10 meters. If I wanted to do a 10-meter scroll, I'm covered. I can't see it in my future, but you know, you never know if I get to that stage where I want to do the longest scroll ever. So this is where we're at. So you can probably see from this end bit, I'm just layering up little, these are all pieces of fabric that are in my little scrap plate that I've got on my stitching desk. And I just layered them up. I do my running stitch up and down them. I've done it in a fluorescent-y Aurifil. So that's kind of yellow, pink and orange. I've kind of varied the ups and downsies of it. And then go back in. I've got a pliqued bird. So this is wool felt pieces that I've done for the flowers, the bugs and the birds. And you can go to town, you can add beads, buttons, whatever you want to in it, and use all your favourite threads that you like to stitch with in order to just have fun, free your mind, just have a nice afternoon stitching, and you can just roll it up, put it away, and then just add to it when you want to. So I think it's kind of a nice project to do, and it's something that I had in my brain to do, and I thought, why not? The next thing I need to do is to make a reel for this to go around. So the next video is going to show you a little bit about that. So here I am constructing my reel. I looked in my wooden dowel selection. I didn't have anything thick enough that I could use. And so I thought I would improvise. And what these are is, you know, you can sometimes get plastic liner bags for your bin. Well, this is like the inner tube to that. It's kind of like, it was as long as 4 of these put together. And all I've done, because they're quite a thick tube, they're not like a, you know, like a kitchen roll flimsiness, they're quite hard and stiff. And so I thought that would actually work. I've got loads of these that I save just because I am a womble, and I save all these things thinking that they're going to come in for something. And also had a daughter that makes cosplay things and save them for her because they make good sword handles. Yes, they do. So I cut it down. I actually just used this Stanley knife, which is a rather hefty item, but I love it because it cuts like butter through this. And I cut it down into 4 pieces. Now, sometimes it's slightly off, so you could just rub it against some sandpaper to smooth it down, but it actually worked fine. And for the ends, I just used some of these little wooden dowels, these roundels that I'm using for another craft project that I'm doing at the minute, and I thought, ooh, they'd make good ends. So what I stuck those down were, you could use a hot glue gun, actually, that would work equally as well, but I've used this 3-in-1 beacon glue, which I find works really well. Yeah, so I just took one of those on either end, make sure it's obviously even, so stick it down. I weighted it down with something heavy so that it would stick, and then came back, it had stuck perfectly. And I've just painted it with a white gesso just to give it some kind of a coating, and then I've gone over it in folk art paint, which has worked particularly well. I love this folk art paint. It dries matte, which is what I love, which means that I can now, once this is properly dried, it isn't properly dried yet, but I can paint over it, so I could add some detail in with like an acrylic marker pen, which I intend to do. And I also, on the top and bottom, designed, well, I say designed, I just drew out one of my birds in my book, if I can find it in here. Trying to find anything in this book at the minute is, okay. So I just quickly drew around this in my book, and then I've drawn a bird, which is going to go on the top of there. But I'll probably decorate it up in something as well, just on the middle of it. Even though you probably won't see it most of the time, I will know it's there. So it will make me happy. But yeah, you can paint it in any colours. You could stripe it up if you wanted to. But yeah, I really wanted to put another bird on there because birds, you know, birds. Anyway, so that's how I'm putting together my reels. I can cut them to whatever size I want, so I can make them the thickness of my scroll, which is perfect. And I've got 4 out of that one tube, so I can use all of these in other scrolly projects if I want to. One of them's slightly shorter than the other. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, that all worked out rather well. And I am quite pleased with how that's coming along. Still need to wait for it to properly dry though. It is touch dry, but I want it to be a proper dryness before I go in with any other paints and stuff. The other thing I'm going to do, so I've got my reel sorted, I've got my length of scroll sorted. I want to back this because obviously I've got all my stitching on the back there and I'd like it to be covered. And this, I think, hopefully will work quite nicely. So that's going to go on the back of my scroll, and then I will blanket stitch that on. And I've got quite a deep turnover so that you can still see it at the front, kind of a little bit. I could, if I wanted to, I could double fold this, the edging of it, and have it over the top, but I don't like that so much. I tried it and I thought, no, that's just going to be a bit overkill, I think. I may change my mind, but I can make it quite thin. So I could do a turnover and then sit that in there like so. So it could have gone like that. But I still quite like these little frayy edges part of it. I just want to cover up, obviously, when it's rolled onto my reel. I just want it to be covered. So this is how it goes. It's just the right width for these little makeshift reels that I've made for myself. And you can actually store it on one of these if you want to as well. I'm winding and it's going weird. So it does fit rather nicely. What I'm going to have to do as well is when I back it, I'm going to put a little ribbon in to go around, possibly as well, so that that can fasten that off, or a thread of some kind to wrap around and hold it all together. So that's going to hopefully work pretty well. So I'm just going to continue now with my stitching and finish off what I started here. Go and grab some threads and do a little bit with you. So the threads I am using for this piece in particular, I've been using these Aurifil fluorescent tea threads. I think this is a Tula pink set that came in. It's got a pink one as well that goes with it. So I've got pink, orange and this like neon-y yellow colour that all work rather nicely. I have got some Anchor Pearl 8 cotton, which I use quite a lot of. Got loads of that in different varying colours. Just got that one out on the desk at the minute. I've got some Wonderfil. I love this. I've just bought 2 more of this particular colourway because I love it so much. It goes with all kinds of stuff. And also I'm using up some of my dyed fabrics. I've got another bit of fabric there, wound round. These are ones that I dyed a couple of years back. There's a video that goes with these as well. I dyed them with Dynaflow, and they are just Pearl 8 in a plain white, and then just dyed with Dynaflow, heated, and then wrapped around these little lolly sticks. And I use these quite, you can see that one's nearly run out. I'm ready for a new dyeing session so that I can dye myself up some more threads. Because I really enjoyed using these, because what I like about them is that I can choose how variegated they get. So you can see I can pick where sometimes cottons are not variegated as much as I would like them to be. Unless they're the Wonderfil ones, which are supremely variegated and lovely and change almost every 2 inches. Love that so much. But yeah, these are, you can easily just get yourself some plain white Anchor or DMC cotton, pearl cotton, and dye it yourself. If you don't like the colours you've got, make your own. But yeah, they're going into it as well because I thought they fit rather nicely with everything I've got. It's all bright colours, obviously. So let's thread some up and do a bit of stitching. See where I'm up to with this one. I just got to the bug that I've done there. I've just put some little French knots into his back. So I want to add some detail going around these 2 flowers here, and to decide which colour to go with now. I think I'll go with this bright one. Why not? I have left my tiny embroidery snips over the other side, so I'll just use the scissors I've got here. Cut myself off a length of thread. And obviously, I shouldn't need to say this, but you don't need to go as leery as I go with my colours. These are the things that make me happy. I enjoy these colours, but you could equally do it colour themed. You could do a blue variation or a sea green variation with lots of little fishies on it. That sounds quite nice, actually. I'm liking that idea. There you go. There's a free idea for you. You could do a sea themed one. I'm doing my birds, blooms and bugs. Where do I want to go from? So I'm thinking I want to do a little spiral here. I do like stitching spirals in. So I'm going to do one just here, just near this bug. I don't want to go over his feelers, so take it quite close to it, but I don't want to go over it. So I'm just going to go around in a spiral. It's like a spiral back stitch. You could do a spiral running stitch as well. That would work equally as well. You can just use any stitch you like. But I'm thinking this will give this a little bit of strength for this top edge here. And also fulfill my love of having spirals and everything. I do like spirals and stars. I haven't got any stars in here. That's the point. Maybe I should add some in. I can add some little felt stars in. But it's such a nice, relaxing thing to do. And as I say, you could store this. What I have done previously is I've had this rolled up like so it doesn't flap around too much, but I might do it now. And I've got one of these like quilt clippy things to hold it together, so it stops it from getting in my way. And it's one of those things you could take out and about with you as well. You could put together a little kit with a few threads and a needle and your little scroll. And then if you're on a journey somewhere, maybe on a train journey, or you've got a long bus ride to do, or sometimes just sitting in a queue, waiting to get in to see the doctor, perhaps. And you can pass the time just by stitching yourself a little bit of your scroll, and you could easily pack it away because it doesn't take up too much room. So this is how this is going to go on for me for the next few hours. And I will probably put a podcast on. I'm listening to a book at the moment. I could put that on either, listen to that. At the minute I am listening to, it's the NOS 4R2, NOS 4R2. It's by Joe Hill. And I have just started that one, so that's going to be on my playlist for a while. It's quite a long book, so I am looking forward to listening to that. I have enjoyed the beginning of it so far. So I'll arm myself up with a little tray with all my threads on it, sit in a comfy chair and go and listen to a story being read to me, which is great. Everybody likes a story being read to them. I love listening to a book or a podcast when I'm doing things like this. It makes me feel like I'm multitasking, so I can listen to something and stitch at the same time. So that I'm going to load up my tray now and do a bit more stitching, and I'll be back to show you how it's all progressing. So it's a couple of days later and I have almost, not quite, finished my scroll. So I thought I'd show you where I've gotten up to. And I have wound it around my reel. I did the drawing on top of the reel like I showed you, and because I wanted this to be quite durable, I haven't done one on the bottom, I'm still considering that. Did one on the top, and that was in acrylic marker, and then I have put some of this glass varnish on the top just to protect that top surface. It needs probably another coat of this, but I will do that when I've decided if I want to add any more decoration onto it. Because to be honest, most of it's covered up. I might do something on the bottom perhaps. I can't see a reason for decorating the centre of it, but I might add some like black and white stripes onto these edge bits. Still thinking about that. So here we have it. So we start off with Mr. Birdie, then we've got a bug, then we've got a flower, or a bloom, should I say. Bird, blooms, bug, bloom, bloom, big bloom. That's nice. That's a piece from the Bazaar pack I've had previously. Got a little heart. And then we've got a crowned bird. So it's got a very nice little crown going on. A bloom and a bug. And there we are at the end. So what I want to do, obviously I backed it. I have put that fabric that I showed you on the back as a backing. It's been blanket stitched on, so it's all nice and secure now. I left both ends open because I want something to, if that's going to be there, I want something to wrap around there first, just a little bit, just so that that will hold that on. And then I want something just to wrap around to hold it together. Still considering how I'm going to do this. I did find this rather fun stuff out though. This is a yarn, and I think I might try and utilise that into it somewhere because it looks a little bit like feathers maybe, and it's got kind of all the colours that I've got in my reel or my scroll in there, so I'm considering that. But yeah, really happy with how it turned out. And some people say, oh, what are you going to do with it? What I'm going to do with it? I'm going to look at it and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to keep, you know, Winnie the Pooh, where Eeyore, they give him a birthday present, and it's a pot, and it's a useful pot to put things in. And it was supposed to be a jar of honey, but Pooh ate the honey, so it wasn't a viable gift that way. But the actual pot, I can see where Eeyore would enjoy that. Just taking things out and putting them back in again. And that's going to be me. I'm going to be rolling and unrolling my bird scroll and just enjoying it. Because they're very tactile things. I have to say they're really nice to sort of feel, and feeling all the different textures and stuff in there. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I'll turn that around so the bird's facing the same way. But I enjoyed doing the little wooden bird on top as well. So he's going to have another coat of gloss going on at some point. But I really wanted to show you before I added any more of that in. And I'll probably put something on the bottom and something around the edges. But I'm going to leave the middle as is, I think, because you don't really get to see much of that. I mean, I could decorate it up with some spots or stars or whatever. I don't know. I would know it was there, I suppose, if I did it. But for now, I am quite happy with what I've got. So yeah, a really happy few days of stitching has gone into that. I'm kind of loving the little birds. So I might want to do some more birds, maybe as decorations for little framed birds or cards or something. I've got birds on the brain. Sorry. It kind of gets like this, and I'll be like this for like a few weeks, months, and then I'll move on to something else. But I will always circle back. My birds will always come back. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed having a little look at how I put together my little birds, bugs and blooms. I've decided it is now. Birds, bugs and blooms. And I'm thinking now of doing a fishy one. I've got the idea for a fishy one, but I've also got the idea for an outer space one as well. So watch this space. I'm going to find a space for this, talking of space, on one of my little decorative shelves, which I'll probably show you next week because I've got some that I want to add things to, along with my drawer set that I'm still doing. Still been waiting for a decent day to do some painting outside, but I think I'm going to just have to bite the bullet and go for it indoors. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see what's going on here in the kookiest corner of YouTube. The likes help. It doesn't cost you anything just to put a little thumbs up, and I really do appreciate it if you do that. And also, if you subscribe, again, doesn't cost you, but you do then get to know when I upload a video every time I put one up. That is all from me for now. I will see you very, very soon with something else. Bye for now.